family so much, get healthy and detoxify. Most people know that iodine deficiency has been a crisis around the world. Iodine is key to so many of the body's functions, especially the thyroid. I discovered a product being developed by Dr. Group. You now know it as Survival Shield True Nascent Iodine that your body can really absorb. Then, about a year ago, he said, listen, if you think this is powerful, I'm going to come out with rare earth, deep earth crystals. And the results that I personally have had have been life-changing. Nobody else has got iodine based on these pure crystals, ladies and gentlemen. This is innovating, and the best part is it helps fund Infowars.com, the radio show, the TV show, the whole media operation promoting true libertarian ideas. For a limited time, experience the ancient power of Survival Shield X2. Take advantage of this unprecedented 30% off Super Detox Special at InfoWarsLife.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. Edward Group. It took me 20 years of searching the globe to find the deposit of the highest purity iodine available. The new Survival Shield X2 is mined from 7,000 to 10,000 feet below the earth in pristine, environmentally clean conditions. The iodine crystals we use are extracted from an ancient 300 million plus year old deposit deep in the earth. It's the strongest nascent iodine on the market today. It delivers 650 micrograms per drop. Experience the new formula. Experience the ancient purity. Shield your family. Survival Shield X2. Available now at InfoWarsLife.com.
X2 from InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139. From the water table to our soils to the atmosphere itself, our world is becoming more and more toxic each and every day. But it's not just the air outside that's toxic. Indoor air has been shown to have 2 to 5 times higher concentrations of pollutants than even outdoor air. And most Americans spend 90% of their time inside using toxic chemicals within their homes. There are more than 42 million smokers in the United States. Well over 1,000 types of mold and mildew linked to numerous conditions. And don't forget the fact that 6 million Americans live with pets they're allergic to as well. When I began to research these statistics, it was clear to me it was time to start cleansing my lungs in order to combat the toxic environment that we cannot escape, but that we can fight back against. Made with organic and wild cultivated herbs and manufactured in the USA, the new InfoWars Life Lung Cleanse is here in a convenient spray bottle that can be brought with you throughout any toxic environment. Now available exclusively at InfoWarsLife.com or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139.
Crashing through the lies and disinformation. It's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
Welcome back to the Alex Jones Show. This is David Knight in Austin. We were just talking to Alex Jones via phone. He was breaking down what is going on at our borders. Well, it is the collapse of America. We had David Petraeus saying famously a couple of weeks ago in London, what comes after America? That's easy. North America. He broke it down. It's all about NAFTA. And, of course, Jerome Corsi has picked this up at WorldNet Daily. We're going to have him on in the third hour of the show to break that down. But one of the places where this has come to a head, of course, is in Murrieta, California. This is where the population came out and said, enough. If you're not going to protect the borders, if you're not going to stand by the law, we're going to show up and stop this importation of people. They're bringing in 140 people every 72 hours. That's the plan. So they showed up and they've stopped this now. I believe it's 3 times. We have sent InfoWars reporters there. We're going to be going to them in just a second. But, of course, Obama is telling the local area ICE agents, that's immigration control is what they say, or immigration and customs enforcement, that's what they say it's about, but of course it's not about that at all. He's now told them to stand down. What's going on with that? Well, of course it is part of a Cloward and Piven strategy. Obama is incentivizing this massive immigration here, and this is part of it. But another question is, maybe he's going to bring in a different kind of police, one that's not necessarily focused on illegal immigrants, but one that is focused on the protesters. So we're going to be talking to them, see what developments are coming up. Before we go to Jakari Jackson and Staff Sergeant Joe Biggs, we're going to tell you that this hour of the Alex Jones Show is brought to you by a special that we've got going at our website. This is a special on Survival Shield X2 and Fluoride Shield. 2 bottles of our best formula for only 30% off in our Super Detox Special, a very limited time, only while supplies last. Get the fluoride out with our Fluoride Shield formula by itself for 25% off at InfoWarsLife.com. Your support is what allows us to run this operation, to send reporters to cover the hot spots, and this is a hot spot in Murrieta. Everybody is looking at this to see what is going on. Is the government going to come against the American citizens, or are they going to support what they believe, as John Bound has put it, the illegal citizens, because they are treating them as if they are citizens? Let's go to Jakari Jackson in Murrieta, California. Jakari.
Hey, how you doing, David? We're out here in Murrieta, California, right in front of the Border Patrol base here in this location. Staff Sergeant Joe Biggs, Kit Daniels, and our cameraman Josh. We're out here trying to document the illegal immigration influx into the United States of America. Now, out here, we see Fox News is out here. We saw CNN at our hotel earlier today. And so people are interested in this story, but they want to tell it their own way. They want to say it's the humanitarian crisis. It's all these children, and it's everything's for the children. And of course, we want these children to have good education, safety, health care, and so forth. But, you know, to use this analogy, let's say you have a boat and your boat only holds about 10 people, but then you open up your borders or open up your boat, and now you got 20 people, now you got 30 people, now you got 50 people, and the boat is sinking to the bottom. And that's exactly what's happening here in the United States of America. It's not that we don't want these people to have, you know, all the things that I just mentioned. We just can't really support all these people, because you think about San Bernardino, California, the county, and they had back in 2009 about $60 million allocated to welfare resources for illegal immigrants. And that's not even counting about their own people, their own legal people, because you talk about the veterans who are not getting the health care and all the other things.
Well,
but
now,
David, I want to...
Jakari,
we
just reported on Infowars.com that the White House is now asking for $3.8 billion for the children. The children
$2 billion
of the border.
wasn't enough, David, because you remember it was $2 billion.
Yeah.
I said, okay, that's not enough. So let's bump it up to $3+ billion. But
and
David,
that's just right now while they're at the border. It's going to get much more expensive as we educate them. And, of course, they're going to get benefits that far exceed what American citizens and American taxpayers have been given. They're going to be able to get in-state tuition at any state they want to go to, not just at a state where they've been paying taxes. They're going to be able to get it anywhere and be able to get full-ride tuition. Of course, American students will have to go into debt to become indentured servants to the banks, to the government, if they want to get a college education. But these people can just come in, and the Dreamers will get it. And, of course, the Dreamers includes anybody who's coming in now. I think that's really what's changed. This was put in, the DREAM Act was put in about 2 years ago. But what they've made it clear is that this is not going to be retroactive, but it's going to be proactive to anyone who wants to come in now or in the future is going to get this massive benefit. So it's an enticement, and he's actually endangering children.
That's a benefit that we don't get. Myself being a Oklahoma resident or from Oklahoma, I go down to Texas, I don't get in-state tuition. So, but people from El Salvador, people from Mexico, they can come and get the benefits that I can't. I mean, that doesn't seem fair to me. And, you know, when it comes down to brass tacks, you know, who's ultimately going to pay for all this in-state tuition? You know, Obama's not opening up his private bank account to fund all this stuff. It's going to come from taxpayers, people like you and me, people in San Bernardino, California. But, David, we have the article on Infowars.com, Paul Joseph Watson news article, and he's talking about how the ICE agents are being told to stand down from Obama. Yes. And I can absolutely believe that, because we've seen the Border Patrol and with our own eyes in the state of Texas. I wouldn't so much say the people we talked to said they were so much ordered to stand down, but they're definitely not doing a adequate job.
Well,
because
these guys,
these guys
in Murrieta, Jakari, have been told that they're on temporary leave with full benefits, so they're still paying them. They just say they don't want them to do anything. I mean, you couldn't be more obvious as a collapse.
Vacation. It's a paid vacation. But when we go to the border, David, in Texas, you know, you go to the Border Patrol and they want to check you, like, are you an American citizen? They want to bring the dog out and sniff your car. I'm like, well, you guys know where the illegal immigrants are. They know where the illegal immigrants are in Texas. They know where they are in California, but they want to harass you, the American citizen. You know, it's like, can I get the same benefits as everybody else, or as these illegal immigrants? They're treating illegal immigrants better than the United States of America than they're treating people like me, treating people like Staff Sergeant Joe Biggs, who has to wait 2 months to get an appointment at the VA for internal injuries and stuff. It's completely ridiculous.
Yeah, I want to get Staff Sergeant Joe Biggs' take on it. Thanks, Jakari. We're going to come back to you later in the show. But, you know, talking about the VA, this is another article that just came up on InfoWars yesterday. Long wait times in California emergency rooms are blamed on Obamacare. Well, what's going to happen when all these people that Obama is bringing in go on to Obamacare, go into the emergency room? What's going to happen with that? Well, of course, that's part of the Cloward and Piven strategy, to collapse the country with a welfare state. Now, they're trying to say that this is about compassion, and yet we see that Obama is incentivizing these children to come across. We know that in Dallas, they're trying to preemptively stop what happened in Murrieta, where our InfoWars reporters are in California. They don't want people there protesting the immigration influx that's going to be brought in and staged in that area. So we had a judge that was going door to door, threatening people, saying, well, you know, of course, you've got free speech, but you better obey the law. And part of that interview, and that was a story that was put up by the mainstream media up in Dallas, they had a quote from a guy who said, hey, you're a grown-up, don't protest a kid. This is not about protecting kids. This is about endangering children. Obama is incentivizing this. When you have a congressman like Bridenstine in Oklahoma go to the facility to see what's going on, to see if there's child trafficking going on, that's a legitimate question. How do very young, unaccompanied minors get all the way across a continent from Central and South America to the United States? How do they do that? How do they get across the desert? Where are they going? Who are they being turned into? The congressman has had experience with child trafficking. A lot of these children are dying. They're getting raped. They're being turned over into child trafficking. He wanted to see what was going on, but he was sent away. Now, also in Murrieta, we have Staff Sergeant Joe Biggs. Staff Sergeant, what do you see there? Hello. I don't guess we've got him just yet. Hello? One of the things that we're seeing is that there's an immigration crisis. There we go. There's Joe Biggs. Go ahead, Joe.
Hey, how are you doing, David?
Doing fine. What do you see there, Joe, on Murrieta?
Well, one thing I see is a group of people, a town, come together and stand up and say, you know what? Enough is enough. You're not going to bankrupt our town, bringing these alien children into our town whatsoever. I mean, it's a beautiful thing to see Americans and patriots come out here and stand up for something like that. But, you know, the funny thing is, though, they're going to be the ones that are called terrorists. Meanwhile, last night on the pro-amnesty side, there's gangbangers out here. And yesterday they have La Raza out here. One of the Mexican-American anti-immigration guys I talked to last night, Mr. Garza, he said that, you know, La Raza is indeed the Mexican KKK, and they want no part of that. So,
yeah.
You know,
well, they actually call themselves the race. So, I mean, you couldn't be more explicitly racist than that. And, of course, we have many comments from them on Endgame. We played some of that last night on the Nightly News, part of that documentary that Alex did, I think it was 7 years ago, where they were making blatantly racist statements. They called their organization the race. I don't know how you get any more racist than that.
Exactly. You know, the people that I encountered last night on the anti-immigration side were very welcoming, and, you know, they were just pretty much peaceful. They just didn't want all these people being dropped off into their city, you know, because what I was told is this facility right here is really only able to process up to about 20 kids at a time, and then they have to release them. But these buses are bringing 100+ kids at a time. So what are they going to do with all those children? That's one of the big questions. And then also you have the riots in LA right now going on for the pro-amnesty people. You know, they're the ones that seem more like terrorists out of this entire situation. They're the ones talking about the hearts and minds of these kids, but they're the ones that have been getting violent. They're the ones that have been, you know, getting arrested as well.
Well, you know, they like to talk about sustainability. We always hear that from the left. Well, one of the aspects of that is population. You know, Nancy Pelosi said she would just like to take all of these children that she saw home with her. Well, there's a practical reason why she can't do that. There's a practical reason why America can't take all of the children of the world either. And that's sustainability. You just can't sustain it any more than one person could adopt 100 kids. You don't have the economic resources for that. One of the things that they're ignoring is what they're doing to collapse those economies in Central and South America, and that's the drug war. That's what they're doing in those countries. But now they're opening up the borders, and the question is, are they going to have some kind of a false flag? Is it going to be some kind of a suitcase nuke? Is it going to be a population bomb? Is it going to be a pandemic? Maybe it's going to be all three of those, but it looks like they're going to try to collapse the country, whether they can do it with welfare. And, of course, the right wing is also saying, let's jump in there. This is an existential threat. We've got a general saying we need to send the military to the border. How do you feel about that, Joe, sending the military to the border?
I don't think that's a good idea, because all that's going to do is